Watch the full video so you don't end up with this. These are very hard parts to find. The 7000 is getting split today. Like I said, we have some PowerShift clutch issues going on, and we're just going to rectify that situation. But I want to show you all how it comes apart. It's not terribly complicated if you're splitting back here. So in front of the transmission, but at the end of the torque tube / PowerShift clutch housing. On the driver's side of the tractor, you will need to remove the fuel tank. And that's because you got to take out the transmission brake, because it slides all the way in there. Once you get it out, there's really, on this side anyways, there's nothing else that's going to hold this from moving forward, as far as other than bolts that of course hold this housing together. Pretty simple process at that point. The bolts on the top, I assume you'll probably have the same issue. You could remove this top of the transmission. I didn't want to do that, and you don't have to. If you look right here, the bolts are all the way out. So like when you loosen them like that, they are all the way out of the threading, and there is nothing in between the housing, or nothing touching rather, when it comes to this right here. So all that stuff over here is good to go. I'm going to show you the wiring harness because I'm already over here. So the wiring harness right here, this is another good thing to take care of while you've got everything open. It's very simple to see it all. And then you'll have one wire right here that goes up in this fender, and it comes to one of your headlights. That wire is going to go through the floor pan, which is right here, and it goes through this hole right there. That's the floor pan, fuel tank, and the steps from the driver's side all right there. This is part of the floor as well. The brake pedals we took off, I'll show you why here on the other side. The jacks that we have set up, this concrete floor, we did have the carpet there. We thought that was holding us, but it was actually the trans brake. We just forgot to take it out. But these roll jacks you see right here, this is designed for if I ever have to split it and change the clutch. This is where you're going to have to connect if you are, let's see here. So there's two bolts right there, 2 bolt holes. And you're going to have to connect something to those in order to support the tractor when you go to split it. Now we have this back here supported, we have this back here supported, that's the other end of our harness, supported by this jack. The wheels are chalked so that they can't roll very far. We've got them chalked on both sides, as a matter of fact. The very back of the tractor, because we don't want it to tip backwards either, we have more blocks under here because we want to ensure that it can't tip backwards. Those other blocks right there are extras. Originally, we didn't think we were going to have to put a jack under there, but we decided it's best so we can get the exact angle we want whenever it comes time to put all this back together. Now on this side, you have to remove the valve body housing. So the valve body housing is all over here. There's just a bunch of bolts. This is what the back of your valve body housing will look like. And this is what the back of your valve body housing, or the outside of it, is going to look like. There's a couple of lines that go in right here. This is upside down at the moment. You'll have your linkage for your PTO on here. Actually, I think, yeah, that's the PTO. This is the shift between gears, or between ranges rather. Several bolts, several brackets that are on it. It all makes sense when you're looking at it as far as taking it out. What won't make sense is this part right here. Now this right here will not make sense for you. And the reason I say that is because we're going to slide this back through here, hopefully. There we go. Now it's not lined up because we've already started moving the tractor, but these are going to slide through here, and there's not threaded and anything like that. What we did was we got a screwdriver under this side and pried it out. Some are very much tighter than others. So this bottom one was actually really easy to get out. Oop. Oh, I'll go and say that. Now look what I got to deal with. Yep. That gasket on the end of this one just popped off. But I was showing you that because this is how they go in. They'll be in here. There. It's out now. Found it. I get that when we split it. It'll be a lot easier to get my hand in there. But these are going to go in here. So they go in this hole right here, 2 more up here. So there's 3 total. But they go through there and they line up to that PowerShift housing. Now, I have a big gap on here because like I said, we're ready to split this at this point. If you don't take these out, you are going to ruin them. And they are not the easiest thing to find. Outside of that, the other thing you can check is right here. So the other thing you can check is make sure this moves freely. And then this part right here, so see how I just moved that in there? That moves freely. If those splines are moving freely, that makes it really easy to get these tractors apart. The other things you need to disconnect though, there's 3 lines right here. For the most part, if you are sitting here and you see where we've got the tractor starting to split, right here. So you can see where we've got it starting to split there. If you are in that area and you look, anything that goes in front of the tractor from there has to be disconnected, right? So these lines go to the front of the tractor. The other thing is your brake, your brake assembly. So I disconnected it right there because it's a lot easier to disconnect the linkage than it is to go to the back and disconnect them there. Same thing on the other side, you got to disconnect your linkage. All that stuff is relatively simple. The front linkages on the clutch, nothing needs to be disconnected, just that the clutch trans brake. And then outside of that, your last really piece of the puzzle is ensuring that you have a method to roll this forward in a controlled manner. Now our thought is we're going to use a side-by-side with a winch and just slowly move it forward. We're going to see how easy it is first, and we're going to let you guys watch that part. If it's a pain, or if 2 of us can't do it, I just had carpal tunnel surgery, so I can only push so much with my hand for the next month and a half. So that's kind of a hindrance for us. And I just had carpal tunnel surgery on my hand about 2-3 weeks ago, and so I can't push and pull like I want to yet. I've still got a few more weeks of recovery. So that's what's making this more difficult for us. That's why we have this hooked up. That and the fact that we didn't realize that the trans brake wasn't out, or that had to come out, and we were pulling on it and we couldn't get it out. Doesn't seem like it damaged anything. As soon as we took the tension off, we were able to move the trans brake back and forth pretty easily. So I think we're good as far as that stuff goes. But make sure all that stuff is out. It's going to make it way easier. Outside of that, drain, that's what I forgot to say. Drain your transmission here, and then also drain all the fluid from your hydraulic system up here. So we drained it right there. Ours was actually really clean and everything, but like I said, they need to be replaced at some point, and now is better than never kind of a thing. If you don't, you're going to spill a lot of oil. It's just easier to do it and not have a big mess to clean up. But I think other than that, that's pretty well it. And if I miss something else, I'll stitch it in here before you guys split it so I don't miss anything for you. A lot of it's pretty common sense as far as what has to be disconnected. You'll kind of see what's binding you, what's stopping you. It's not that complicated in the grand scheme of things. The hardest part, or the most time-consuming part, is the valve bodies, because you got to get those tubes out. The fuel tank, we drained it. It's got a drain on the bottom. It's pretty easy to drain. And then we got it down out of the way. So let's attempt to split this and see what happens. so this is what we were after. We need to get these clutches out because there might be a fly ball issue, or what we really suspect is that the seals are our issue. The other thing is that while we're in here, this right here, that is your clutch brake or your transmission brake. And so what we want to do is, again, probably remove it. Oh, got it. Yeah, we're going to remove that, and we're going to replace it. We're just going to get a new one. I don't know how thick they are new, but I would assume that this one's probably at least halfway through its life. I'm going to bet it's never been replaced, but I could be wrong. So we've gotten through all of these now, and we know that there is no damage to any of the clutches. The ball, the fly ball that was in here, it was stuck pretty good, and actually it was stuck so much we can't even get this that Allen out right there. So what we did instead was we went through this way, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see. Yeah, you can see the ball in there. So inside of there, that shiny spot you see right inside of this hole, that is the fly ball. And we weren't originally able to get it to move. So what we did was we kept pushing on it with a smaller Allen that we can get in there. Still couldn't get it to move, and we ended up tapping on it a couple of times with a hammer. Got it to move, and then we started putting some WD-40 through here as we kept moving it. It is moving freely now. I'm almost certain that that is where my issue was, because this is the low range clutch pack set anyways, and that fly ball would allow either fluid to flow in there so that the piston could move and put pressure against these clutches, or in this case not be able to move if it's stuck like it was. So we got some we do have some parts that we're going to order, though. There's some seals, like these seals right here, they're pretty dry. They flex a little bit, but not as much as I'd like, and so we're going to get some new ones of those. We're also going to replace all of these that you see here. So all of these ones right here are going to get replaced, and we're also going to replace the tube that I bent. So the tube that was right here that we bent and severely damaged, we will be replacing that one. Now this tube was originally, well, I won't be able to get through it originally went through this hole right here, and it stuck out. I can put it in reverse just to kind of show you, but that's essentially how it was, except for this end was over here. Anyhow, that goes inside of the housing that is attached and has all your clutch packs stuck on it over here. It's imperative that you take this out, because if you don't, you're going to damage it. Now, AGCO did have this, and I was able to get this one. What I wasn't able to get was the ones on the other side. Now, the other side, we did take those ones out. Now, these smaller tubes that actually belong on the other side over here, these ones, as you can kind of tell, we boogered up the ends of them. Unfortunately, there's just no good way to get these out. Now, the seal that's on the back side of it, that does most of the sealing. And I am going to smooth up the end here, because I do want it to be as nice as possible when we put it back together. However, for some reason, those are leaking, and unfortunately, AGCO doesn't have these anymore. What I'll have to do is I'll just have to pull them out. Now, these are accessible from the other side. I don't have to take anything apart. This one over here, I'd have to take the fuel tank off again to get to it. So it is much simpler now. As far as repairs on this one, just take the because these sit in here from this side like so. There we go. So these sit in here from this side like that. And there's one in that hole, one in this hole right here, and one there. So there's 3 total, and you can just pull them right out. Well, I say pull them right out, but they're, depending on how long they've been there, they might be stuck pretty good. You can see that this is, not the best looking tube. You can see it's got a little bit of pitting on it. It does have some rust in there. This tractor sat for a while. I don't know how long it sat for before we got it, but I am certain that that is what led to all of our rust issues that are inside of here. And all the rust issues that you see, not so much rust issues, but the surface rusting that you've seen. I'm sure there was moisture in this case when it was sitting, and it was given the opportunity to rust a little bit. That's even on some of our gears there. I hope you enjoyed it. We are going to replace the seals on both ends of these tubes as well, and a few other things. So if you stay tuned, though, on the next video, we're going to show you all that a little bit more in detail. This was just the video of showing you how to tear this tractor apart and hopefully not break these tubes, especially these ones. The other one, at least, you can get from Agco still, but these ones you can't anymore. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a blessed week. And remember, if you're going to talk about somebody, talk to God about them.